Hey, Shalom, Shalom, when it's stuff, source by giving no praise to Yahweh, Shem Yahshua, Shem Kodash, double honors to the apostles of GMS and honors to you brothers doing the work in truth, war, sincerity. This is, just a quick one, we'll see where the spirit leads. Right, I was, just thinking on, this popped up in my head as well, so I thought, got the time, let me do a video on it. Well, and that's the thing of talents, man, because look, Lord puts, the spirit in us. The Lord, you might have someone, we've been going through the Gentiles, man. How you're gonna have, Israelites coming, from this place, that place, right? Let me get that real quick. Isaiah 11 and 11. Right, it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush, from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the island of the sea. Right, so basically you're going to have Israelites coming, and you've been seeing that. For instance, we've got a brother, we just call it in our camp, who's from that Cush region, the lands of Cush, right? And that brother's an Israelite, right? But the thing is, like, you might be like, oh man, I'm in this heathen skin, whatever. Yeah, you might look like an Edomite from say Poland or Albania. You'd be like, oh man, you look like an Edomite, this, that, and the other, right? But the Lord is balanced, right? Because the thing is, if you come from one of them lands, then more than likely you speak that language. Right? So what you got to do, and that's ultimately that's what the Lord did that, right? That's what the Lord is working you up, and especially if you ain't hearing about anyone from your region, they start doing videos in those languages now, right? It doesn't have to be anything deep. Right? You can be like, oh, you might just have a scripture, you would you call it, it's breakdown, for instance, Jeremiah 14:2. Right? We should all know that one. You just do a quick video and be like, look, the Israelites are, real Israelites are so-called black people. It doesn't have to be long. Right? Just do it in your native tongue. That's a talent, ultimately, that the Lord has given you. Right? Because then otherwise, why did he bring you in? If you don't know it, why did he bring you in? Right? If you know, isn't it? So why was you given that talent of being able to speak that language? The Lord didn't want you to use it. Right? So the Lord has given us all talents, and He expects us to go to them, to basically make more money with it, man, to flip it. Right? So Matthew 25:14 says, for the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country. He called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. Right? Unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. And that's also another thing that you got to understand, that, look, man, you're going to have, brothers that have more talents than others. You're going to, not everyone's going to be, not everyone's going to be on a certain level. The Lord's the one that, let me get that. That's 1 Corinthians 3:7. Says, so then neither is he that planteth anything, neither he that watereth, but the Most High that giveth the increase. Right? So it's the Lord that is the one that, puts the spirit on you to do anything or whatever. Right? So, but you ain't doing anything unless the Most High sanctions it. Right? You might, you might, try cram everything in, try be, the great orator. You might be like, look, man, I want to be like Apostle Jar, and you study, but then you burn out. What does the scriptures say? Find honey, eat as hast thou. So it's Proverbs 25:16. It says, hast thou find honey, eat so much as is sufficient for thee, lest thou be filled therewith and vomit it. Right, so you come in, you try to cram, you try to get yourself on a certain level, right? But that wasn't allotted to you, right? Right, it says 1 Corinthians 14:32 says, and the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets, right? So you're gonna have you're gonna have certain prophets that have certain lots, right? But not everyone's gonna be Paul in the reincarnation. It can only be one Paul in the reincarnation. It can only be one King David in the reincarnation. Why? Because the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets, right? If you was a minor prophet, right, then in the last life, then in this life, you're gonna be a minor prophet. Not everyone's gonna would you call it? Have a lot of being a major prophet. That's not for everyone. Right, and that's that's the multitude of talents that you've got. But end of the day, the talents that you do have, you're supposed to flip it. Right, it says then he that had what do you call it? Sorry, that's what I need this. Right, it says then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same and made them other 5 talents. Right, it says, and likewise he that had received 2, he also gained other 2. But he that had received 1 went and digged it in the earth and hid his Lord's money. And after a long time, basically, he didn't flip the money now. Right? He had his talent, right? He had his talent, and he didn't use it, right? This is why I started off with the example of how you've got brothers coming from all over the world. Ultimately, the language that you do have, that's a talent, right? The Lord's put you in that position. They use that language to then make them videos, and once you've made them videos, let the people be edified, right? And you might be thinking, but no one watches the video. All it takes is one person to watch the video. Then, he might be like, let's say you move to England, right? But then let's say you're Sri Lankan or whatever. Then a geezer in Sri Lanka on a YouTube, just clicks on and says, what's this? He eats it and he's like, man, apostles, GMS, this, that, and the other. Right, and then he's trying to watch the apostle. He may speak English as well, but he clicked on it. Like, what does the scripture say? Marveled tongue. There we go. This is Acts 2. What do you call it? I'm gonna start from. Well, in fact, great. I'll start from verse 5. It says, and there dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. Right. So you had what do you call it? The Israelites coming from different nations, now coming out of the nation, right? It says, and then goes on to say, now when this was noised abroad, the multitude. So they told, hey, what you saying, man? What you saying, man? Hey, look, man. Hey, this is what I've heard. Right, it says the multitude came together and were confounded because that every man heard them speak in his own language. Right, so then they were amazed and marveled, saying one to another, behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? And how hear we every man in our own tongue wherein we were born, Parthians, Medes, Elamites, and the dwellers in Mesopotamia, and in Judea, and Cappadocia, and Pontus, and Asia, Phrygia, and Pamphylia, and Egypt, and the parts of the Libya about Cyrene, the strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes, Cretes, Arabians, we do hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of the Most High, right? So basically, the Lord had it whereby, the apostles were given the gift to speak these languages. People are like, hey, they speak in our language, right? But, you have brothers right now that already speak them languages, right? And we had an example of this at the camp, right? When one of the brothers is Turkish, right? And he had a geezer come up to the camp, two Turks, right? And then they're moving a bit, offish or whatever. But then as soon as the brothers start spitting that Turkish, all of a sudden they were intrigued, and you could see the scripture coming to life. And that thing of, how hear we every man in our own tongue? Right, so you got the talent to say. I'm just using the languages as an example. That's an easy example, right? So let's say, like I said, Sri Lanka is my choice, for today. Let's say you're Sri Lankan, right? And then, you've got the gift to speak that language. Well, like I said, you don't need to know, you don't need to do any deep breakdowns, man. You say Jeremiah 14:2. The real name of the Lord is Yahweh. The real name of his son is Yahushua. His sons are so-called black men. Revelation 1:13. Right? The mark of the beast is the chip. That's all you gotta say. You can be like, hey, the mark of the beast is the chip. Don't take it and read the scripture. right, and whatever language that you speak, right? You know, you don't have to complicate things, man. You know, not you know, and especially coming into this truth, it's not expected of you to be doing, you know, hour-long videos or whatever. You know, that's not what is expected of you. You know, so if you come in, just do the breakdowns of the videos that you of the scripture that you know, keyword know, and are confident in, and it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't, you know, you could do it a minute, but a minute of a guy listening in Sri Lanka, you know, in his own tongue, you know, and he'd be like, you know, what is the man saying? Oh shit! Then he looks. Then he might tell his family the spirit may have it whereby, let's say, his brother's dad's like, oh shit! Like then they start eating. Then now you got a camp in Sri Lanka. You know, all from that. And the thing is, you might see, you know, 0 videos on all of your, on all of your, 0 views on all of your videos, but one of them has 1 view, and that 1 view was the one that the Lord, what do you call it? That the Lord wanted. What does the scripture say? It says, Proverbs 16:9. It says, a man's heart deviseth his way, but Yahweh directeth his steps. So it's the Lord that basically, puts you and lands you into certain situations, certain scenarios, like, which is what you see. Right? You see that, man. Right? That the Lord, for instance, you ask yourself how you got this word. Hey, me, I was just trying to make some beats, man. Right? And one of the geezers that I'm with, that I even lost contact with, right? You know, I don't chat to him anymore like that. He was just there like, I've never seen a black Jew. And then the geezer that happened to be in the studio, he was like, well, actually, you know, I'm a Jew. Right? And he started going into certain things. And then the spirit had a whereby, you know, broke down by Shimmy, I'm in the truth now. And so was my brother, because really it was my brother who ran with it. Right? I told him, and then, because really we started speaking about sex before marriage, which, you know, which is off. No, as in no sex before marriage, which is off, which is, you know, that's a dogma, right? You know, look that word up, D-O-G-M-A, right? That is dogma, you know, that is pushed on the world, right? But these people, right, they, because the scriptures talk about how sex is marriage, right? But at this point, I'm like, right, okay, so I went and reported it to my brother, and my brother came back, he was like, yo, shit, what's this? You know, and through that way we've got this, you know, these scriptures. And we've got the understanding of these scriptures, right? Because, you know, the Lord directed the steps, and Lord's all the man and the Lord, right? We were meant to get this, right? It says, let's go back. It says, Matthew 25 and 18 says, but he that received one went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. Right? And his Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things, I'll make you ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. His Lord said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things, I'll make thee rule over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Lord. Right? So, hey, look, man, you may have just one talent. Your one talent may just be, what do you call it, the tongues or whatever. Well, because, like I said, every man has different lots. You know, you can't be looking a man and envy his lot. That's his lot, and there's hells that come with his lot. So why can you handle the hell he has to go through? Well, you might be like, I want to be camp leader, but can you handle the hell that comes with being camp leader, right? But if it is just, what do you call it, just to speak the languages or whatever. Like I said, I'm just using language as an example, because it's an easy one, right? If you are just doing what do you call it, that one, the reward is the same. The reward is still salvation. Whether you're camp leader or you're the newest brother in the camp who can only, your only thing is speaking another language, and you do videos in a language, the point is still the same, and that's salvation. Right? Which is why it says one man received a multitude of talents, another man less. Why? Because the Lord is the one that gives the increase, and the Lord is the one that has, what you call it, each man in his own position. Right? So let me carry on. It says, verse 23 says, now 24 says, then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast sown, and gathering where thou hast not stored. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. His Lord said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchanges, and then at my coming I should have received mine own with usury. Right? Take therefore the talent from him, and give it to him which hath 10 talents. For unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Right? So, hey, you don't use your talents, man. You go and get spewed out. Right? You go and get spewed out. I'm going to end with Romans 12. Right? It's from verse 3. It says, For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think. So don't think you're, this amazing guy, just because, let's say, you got a good memory and you can remember all the precepts. Right? Hey, brothers will attest to guys that have come into this truth, can remember, the precepts. Every single sentence has a precept. Right? This, that, Romans, this and that verse. Right? But then where are they now? Right, so they don't be thinking you're more highly than you ought to think. Right, the Lord gave you the talent of having a good memory. Okay, that's brilliant, that's beautiful, bro. But don't get high-minded over it. Right, so, but to think soberly, right? According as the Most High hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, right? So we, being many, are one body in Yahushua. Right, and everyone members one of another. Right, so what that's going into is, ultimately you may have a brother that has that talent. You have another brother that has that gift. You have another brother that does that. Right, just like your body, right? It all serves a purpose. One man's the hand. If the whole body were a hand, you see why that's foolish. The whole body can't be a hand. Right, the whole body can't be an eye. Where, I forgot, I believe it's at Corinthians. It's a similar scripture in Corinthians. Where it says, if the whole body is the eye, how can you taste? Something to that effect. Right, basically giving you that example. Right, but yeah, what battery's moaning at me. And, I think I've hit the point. Look, man, use your talents. Don't envy another man's talent. Work with what you got, because the Lord gave it to you. Right, but that's what the Lord wants for you. Don't try to fight for another glory that ain't yours. Right, but Lord will, that was edifying. Until the next time, shalom.